Partner, sorry, nawawala lagi si Pick. Another thing to learn and discover about our field, which is electronics engineering. Thus, without much further ado, we welcome you to IECEP Car SC second webinar entitled Railways and the Role of Electronics Engineers.
So before we continue with our event, may we please remind everyone of our house rules so that we can maximize and enjoy our experience and learnings for today.
Okay, for our first house rules regarding audio and webcam, please mute your device's audio and turn off your webcam during the presentation. You can activate them when you're recognized by the speaker or hosts.
So staying connected, we encourage you to remain logged in throughout the webinar. If you leave, rejoining might disrupt the system, but feel free to log out once the event concludes.
Next, respectful participation. Show respect for the speakers by refraining from unnecessary comments. Feel free to engage by sharing questions through the chat section, keeping the discussion focused.
Engage before we begin. While waiting for the event to start, connect with fellow participants in the chat box by introducing yourself with your name, school, or location, and a friendly greeting.
Regarding questioning, if you have topic-related questions, use the chat box for queries. This will be addressed during the dedicated Q&A segment of the webinar.
And of course, feedback matters. Don't forget to complete the attendance and evaluation form. The link will be shared in the chat box after the event. Your feedback is valuable to us. Kasama na po ng feedback yung pa-quiz po namin for you to have the participation certificate after the webinar. So again, please rename yourselves using the following format: school name, first name, and surname. So roll call naman tayo dyan, partner.
Sige. Para naman makilala din natin kung sino yung mga nandito. Kasi balita ko raw maraming nag-register.
Oo, maraming umabol.
Diba? So for the plus, for the learning tayo for today, ano ba?
Naman, for the learning. Syempre kasi ang interesting nung topic natin eh. Kasi di ko rin lang talaga inisip before. Pero oo nga, ano. Diba?
I strongly agree.
Ayan. First, sa pinakamaraming nag-register, mga taga-SLU. Sa mga humabol.
Woo!
Ay, ayan. May mga taga-SLU pa dito. Dapat meron, di ba?
Ayan, nakikita ko meron naman.
Where are you at, guys? Sa mga pinahabol namin dyan.
React din kayo ng clap or
react kayo dyan.
Yes.
React kayo dyan. Galit yan. Ayan. From UB, where my people at? Mga pinahabol ko rin dyan. Nasaan kayo? Hoy. Galit. De joke lang. We are happy you're here. And of course, from UC, Adrian and friends. Where are you?
May mga naka-vacation mode pa yung iba, pero thank you sa mga nag-attend from UC. Yes.
Thank you. Kahit alam naming wala pa kayong pasok, thank you so much. Ayun, next up, we have So ayun. First we will have our mini game. Before the talk itself, partner.
Yung mga diwa. Let's have first
I know, very
a
unusual
mini game.
po.
Ayan. Let's play encode decode. Wow, very engineering.
Oh naman! Very easy.
Yes, so ano bang mechanics ng game na to, partner?
Wait lang, before that, may invocation pa pala. Tala, sorry. We will have our opening ceremonies pa pala. So, first we will have our prayer followed by the singing of the national anthem and the singing of our national anthem.
Most gracious and most merciful God, all praises belong to your name alone. We come together today, virtually connected yet united in spirit, as we embark on this webinar. We recognize and acknowledge the blessings of technology that allow us to gather despite physical distance, sharing knowledge and experiences in a meaningful way. We humbly ask for your presence and guidance as we delve into the topics and discussions that lie ahead. Grant us the wisdom to absorb and comprehend the information shared, and the discernment to apply it in our lives, both personally and professionally. May this webinar be a platform for learning, growth, and inspiration. May the speaker share his expertise with clarity, and may his words resonate with the hearts and minds of all the participants. May we engage in fruitful discussions and forge connections that will further enrich our journeys. As we commence this webinar, we ask for your blessings upon each participant. May we approach this learning experience with open minds, humility, and respect for one another. May we be receptive to new ideas, challenge our perspectives, and foster an environment of mutual support and encouragement. We offer this prayer with sincere intentions, trusting that you will guide and bless us throughout this webinar and beyond. May it be a transformative experience that empowers us to make a positive difference in our lives and the lives of others. Lord and sustainer of the heavens, the earth, and all they contain, we ask all these in your most precious name. Amen.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Difficulties po sa host nyo.
Yeah,
Ayan,
we're
Belay.
so sorry, guys. So, regarding the mini game, alam ko na-excite kayo doon, pero pabibitinin muna namin kayo. So, what we will do first, para mas ma-maximize natin ang ating learning, we will now call on our IECEP CAR Chapter Vice Governor for Education, Engineer Elaine Rivera, for our opening remarks and introduction of our speaker. So, let's give her a virtual round of applause naman dyan.
Good morning,
Alright.
ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. Greetings and salutations to all participants. It is with great pleasure and excitement that I extend a warm welcome to each and every one of you, kahit walang pasok today, to this webinar for BSECE students on the captivating topic of railways and the role of electronics engineers, with the sub-theme where rails meet innovation and electronics engineers stir the journey of progress on the tracks of technology. So as the Vice Governor for Education of the Institute of Electronics Engineers of the Philippines Incorporated, Cordillera Administrative Region Chapter, I am delighted to be a part of this event that brings together aspiring electronics engineers and enthusiasts. Our chapter takes immense pride in fostering educational initiatives that bridge the gap between theory and practice, and this webinar stands as a testament to that commitment. So this world of the world of railways has evolved in remarkable ways, embracing cutting-edge technologies that have not only revolutionized the way we travel, but also redefined the landscape of engineering. So in this era of rapid innovation, electronics engineers play an indispensable role in shaping the future of railways, from signaling systems that ensure safety to the electronics powering modern locomotives. The impact of electronics engineering is profound and far-reaching. Our sub-theme, where rails meet innovation and electronics engineers stir the journey of progress on the tracks of technology, captures the essence of this webinar. It is a journey that delves into the synergy between the timeless engineering marvels of railways and the dynamic advancement in electronics. We invite you to explore the intersection of tradition and innovation, and to envision the transformative potential that electronics engineers hold as they guide the trajectory of technological progress. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to the IECEP student chapter officers who organized everything to make this event possible. So your dedication and enthusiasm are truly commendable. So let us embark on this exciting 3-hour voyage of discovery together. May the knowledge shared during this webinar inspire you to think boldly, innovate tirelessly, and stir the course of progress as future electronics engineers, leaving an indelible mark on the railways of the future. With that, let me introduce to you our distinguished speaker. Our speaker for today is Engineer June Lloyd Emerson Gopela. He is the Director of Product Introduction at Alstom Transportation USA, based in Pennsylvania, USA. His rail project portfolios and support are in countries from United Arab Emirates, Germany, Spain, Italy, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Egypt, India, United Kingdom, China, Singapore, Malaysia, and United States of America. Parang around the world na ito. He is an internationally accredited professional electronics engineer with entitlement as APEC engineer, ASEAN engineer, ASEAN Chartered Professional Engineer with memberships from international professional organizations such as Engineers Australia, the Institution of Engineering and Technology, and Institution of Railway Signal Engineers in UK, Project Management Institute, and IEEE and Society of Engineers in UAE. He has received multiple awards and distinctions, such as the 2021 Outstanding ECE Award from IECEP and the 2023 Certificate of Excellence and Distinction Awards in the Global Filipino Practice and Service category from Philippine Federation of Professional Rail Engineering Advocate in the Philippines since 2017. He initiated and led the Specialization Society during the IECEP and Rulebook development in 2020. He is the current Vice Chairman of the IECEP National Specialization Society and the current Charter Governor of IECEP Americas. I am personally very proud to say that he is a graduate of SLU and my former student. I am so happy of what he has accomplished and has become. Dear IECEP students, let us give a virtual round of applause as we welcome our speaker for today, Engineer June Lloyd Gopela. Welcome, sir.
Thank you po, ma'am, and appreciate, and I'm very ecstatic to be your speaker for today. It's been a while since I've spoken with SLU and Baguio, and I'm very honored. Yun po. maraming salamat din po for the invite. And also for the host, Pauline and Janine, very jolly. Appreciate that. So we could start. Okay po. So let me just share my screen. Okay, so let me know po if you're able to see my presentation. Okay po. So, Paul, again, who's this are taking forward. And appreciate that you go along in your career history and hope that your in the Philippines, it will become a habit that you could also.
Hey po, sir, medyo choppy po kayo.
Ay, okay. Can you hear me now? Ba? Yes, ma'am.
Sir,
Ba?
medyo choppy po.
Sure. Yeah. Here. All clear.
Yung audio po, sir, medyo choppy.
Yeah. Sige. Thank you. Let me connect that. Let's test this. Test. Okay. Testing lang po just in case. Can you hear me po loud and clear?
Better, sir, better.
Yan, okay. Okay po. So let me try to reshare my screen right now. And I'll just share it with the sound and limited video. Okay, so to start with, ito po yung presentation ko in terms of railway and electronics engineer in particular. So I have captured multiple aspects and preferences in terms of ideas. It comes with a purpose, how you motivate yourself with this, what are the core systems included in the railway industry, comms, which is your communication system, in particular, very applicable for us. Yung signaling, basic principles and understanding. At the same time, interfaces and emerging trends, role of DCs, as well as for the wrap-up. In terms of purpose, when you go to your you should bear in mind that also managed by the nations of the whole group. Ito yung beneficial when it comes to self-purpose. We have 17 of them. So it is a better and more sustainable future for all. In part railway, we have the number 9.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, nawalan ko po ng audio. Sir. Excuse me, sir. Sir, wala ka pong audio on our end. Excuse me, sir. Sir? Sir, excuse me po. Sir. Excuse me, sir. Sir, can you hear me po? Kasi we can't hear you, sir. Hello? Sir June? Sir, we can't hear you po. Oh no. Sir, excuse me po. For our Zoom participants, we apologize for the technical difficulties since Sir June is in the US.
In the US right now. So, 12-hour, actually time difference. Wait, I'm trying to contact him. Meron, wala, wait. I-ano mo,
Excuse me, sir. Sir, can you hear us po ba? Because you don't have audio po. Sir? Excuse me, sir. Sir, can you hear us po ba? Wala po kayong audio kanina. Kaya we can't hear your presentations po, sir. Sir, can you hear me po ba? Am I audible to you, sir? Excuse me, sir. Sir, wala po kaming marinig from you. Excuse me, sir. Sorry for the technical difficulties, guys. Pero babalik po si sir. Sana po.
True. Sorry, guys.
Sorry,
Ang hirap
guys.
talaga pag LDR. Ha? May sinasabi, partner.
True. Ayun. Kaya po
Ayan. Hello po.
Ayun. Ayun, sir,
Ayun.
Nawala
audible
po
na
ba?
po kayo.
Sige. Nawala po yung sharing rights
Ay,
ko kanina. And still.
yes, sir, sorry po, hindi po namin makuha po yung attention nyo.
Ayan. Okay. Go on.
Co-host na po ulit kayo, sir.
Okay. Thank you. So let me. Saan po ba nawala? Nakita po ba to right now?
Sir, sa start po, wala pa po kayong audio.
Oh, so from the
Sorry,
beginning? So
sir.
right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So let me just start from the beginning. Kaya naman ko. I did saw that. Okay. So all good na po ba?
Yes, sir. Audible na po kayo.
Ayan, okay. How about putting screen? Are you able to see the presentation?
Yes po, sir.
Okay, so let me rewind and restart. Sabi nga nila kailangan soft reboot any system na may failure. So it's good. So let's start po again. As I mentioned, yung role of ECEs. My presentation will give you a quick overview and drafts of what you need to know about railways. Specifically from what's the purpose, motivations, yung core systems included in the railway industry, because from a personal perspective, you only see railway as the train. So hindi lang siya purely train. Meron pa siyang interfaces and other subsystem in added to that. The comms that you see here are communication systems, and then signaling, interfaces and emerging trends. And at the end would be your roles on what is an electronics engineer in particular for these different systems, more so on the wrap up. Okay, as I mentioned kanina, main purpose natin when you go to the real world industry is that you need to foresee that your contribution is not limited in your geographic area. It has a directive also, and nakakagaan ng loob when you have an understanding that you're able to contribute globally. In particular, dito nga sa Department of Economics, Social Affairs, United Nations Objective, which is composed of 17 global goals. In particular, this is the blueprint to achieve a better and more sustainable future para sa lahat. For us in the railway industry, we are about concerned and impacted by a couple of them. Number one is yung number 9, global number 9 industry about innovation and infrastructure, which is about building resilient infrastructure, promote inclusive and sustainable innovation, and foster innovation. So new structure. This is about transportation, and when you say transportation, it's the railway, but it's also inclusive of integrated transportation. So we fly to the city way, even all the way to your home. Next is yung inclusive utilization. Yun naman yung part ng mga product, lalo na doon sa standard production. So yung pag ng innovation, kasi as I mentioned, railway, it's not just about train. It also has multiple facets of industries and systems in there, which I will discuss later. Yeah, and as statistically proven by UN, it's more than 1 in people on internet. 11 that make human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. In particular, railway is just one means of making everything. And also, electronic engineers are the one that makes it sustainable and resilient. So we find that later. Then, according to the statistics again, for the population live within 4 meters or walking distance to open public spaces. It's very important for us to bear mention we only have one Earth, and according to scientists and NASA, the closest habitat Earth is Proxima Centauri, which is 4.2. Looking at the technology that we currently have, our Parker so is the first craft ever launched. With that speed, we're able to go to Los Angeles, to New York in 20. But from Earth to Alpha Centauri, Proxima Centauri is 6,000 plus years.
Excuse me, sir. Oh my. Sir?
Hello, sir. Sir. Hmm.
Excuse me, sir? Sir? Sir, nawala po ulit audio.
Ayan. Can you hear me na po ba ulit?
Yes, sir. Audible po.
Sige.
I'll make you po ulit co-host. Sorry, sir. Di po namin kasi makuha yung attention niyo.
Yeah. So, let me
Ayun, sir.
just...
Okay na po.
Is it loud and clear po ba ngayon?
Yes po. Better po ngayon, sir.
Sige. So far, umabot po ba dito sa computer visualization?
Yes po, sir. Where
Yes,
you
okay.
stopped po kanina.
Ayan, okay. So, may nakita naman po ako nag-release ng hand. So, thank you doon sa nag-release ng hand kaya nagpop-up. Okay, so ito nga po yung visualization niya with 200 people in 177 cars. And when you combine all of them, they can be inside of 3 buses. On the other hand, when it comes to railway, they will just be inside one light rail. So makikita niyo po talaga yung perimeter and capacity niya. On the next part naman is roadways. So dito makikita yung roadways versus railways. So when you come to roadways, it goes all the way from an interstate to main road, side state, and driveway. Then at the other hand, pagdating naman sa railway, meron kayong main line, industrial lead, customer track, up to customer facility. So yun lang yung limitation ng footprint ng railway as compared to roadmap. So makikita nyo dito yung impact niya from the environment when it comes to transportation ng cars. At the same time, when it comes to freight, ito yung mga packages na dinadala natin from logistics perspective. So from truck, as you can see, ang kaya lang ng accommodate is dalawang 4x40-foot container van. But in a railway, it could accommodate more than that, way more than that. In fact, dito sa United States, meron kami cargo freight na umaabot ng up to 2 kilometers distance. Imagine that with a capacity of 2 40-foot containers. So malaki talaga siya. At the same time, visually speaking, as you can see, this is how the roadways work. Lalo na pagdating sa highways, sa interstate. So makita nyo, talagang nag-a-adapt yung environment for the purpose of the roadways instead of the other way around. Now, from an Alstom perspective, although I work for Alstom, this is what the company is envisioning in terms of railway industry. hopefully nakita niyo yung difference niya ng railway in terms of how we could adapt and adjust with the environment, hindi yung in the environment would adjust towards us. Next naman is just a quick glance of the Philippine Railways, lalo na po in terms of the top 10 most expensive build projects deployed by the former administration. And from here, you could look at item number 2, yung North-South Commuter Railway Extension, which cost around $12.37 billion. Yung number 5, which is PNR South Long Haul, 3.45. Yung North-South Commuter Railway. And then at the same time is yung Mindanao Rail Project, Phase 1. Now, bear in mind, ang project ng railway usually encompasses 4 to 5 years depending on the project, the mobilization. So pag na-award yung project, merong 1 to 2 years period of mobilization program. And by the time you graduate, I would believe that these projects would have started into their installation and testing commissioning phase. So from different project perspective, you have your NTP, or once the project is given, you have the notice to proceed. And within that global project schedule provided to the winner, then dun yung makikita na within 2 to 3 years, mag-mobilize sila ng tao to do installation, 3 to 4 years of commissioning, 4 to 5 years yung operation maintenance. It could even exceed beyond that kasi pang long term na siya. Okay po. And then next one is yung global railway naman in terms of countries. So the top 10 longest railway networks globally, you can see here, is from US, all the way to China, Russia, Canada, India, Germany, Australia, Argentina, Brazil, and France. So if you have an interest to work outside the Philippines, ito yung mga countries na pwede niyong pasukin in terms of locations for railway. Next naman, definitely is yung salaries and packages. So I did my research on Salary Explorer and was able to get a justification or quantification of salary in terms of value, monetary value. So bear in mind, for example, in the Philippines, according to the website, you're getting around 30,100 per month. Yung salary niya of all this description includes housing, transport, and other benefits. At the same time, it depends drastically on your experience, skills, and gender or location. Next one is comparison in terms of the Germany. So Germany naman, they're getting around 3,300 euros per month. At the same time, in Dubai, where I worked for almost more than a decade, they're getting 18,600 dirhams per month. And lastly, is United States. As a rail engineer, you will be able to receive $7,250 per month. Okay. Now, in terms of additional information naman pagdating doon, is yung perks. And these are the perks that you will be able to get once you are a rail engineer. And I can personally attest to that because the information I'm sharing in this perks are the ones that I myself experienced and lived. So first is yung travels niyo. Of course, company will pay for it at some point in time. You will be the business travel and business lounges. You have free travels and flights, and the next part is your accommodations and hotels will be paid for them. At the same time, you will attend awards and ceremonies representing your company, your project, your colleagues, and even your profession as an engineer. More specifically, as a nationality as a Filipino, because they will definitely recognize that. And lastly, you will be broadcasted globally in terms of the website of your company as well as international. Okay. So in terms of rail portfolio, ito yung isang rail portfolio that I'm currently working on, and you will see at a glance what it contains. Okay po. So that's actually what it means when it comes to yung automated people mover, the product line that I'm currently in charge of, especially the productions in the US, and we're distributing that across the world. Next po is yung ating core system. So as I mentioned a while ago, ang railway is not just plain train or what we call rolling stock. It also has power distribution as well as data transmission. The reason why I call this core system is because these are the main systems that really holds the bearing of what it means when it says railway system. Okay, in particular po in terms of rolling stock, in quick definition, rolling stock is any vehicle that moves on a railway. In global perspective, we have different types of rolling stock, and they're defined as mainline high-speed, light rail, urban, regional, locomotives, as well as service vehicles. Ito yung mga nakita natin in layman's term, like electric locomotive, rock railway Switzerland, diesel locomotives, monorail in Germany, metro in India, and steam locomotive in the United States. Okay, the next part is for the rolling stock is meron tayong different subsystems within the rolling stock itself. So we have the electrical, the pneumatics, the vehicle doors, the HVAC, propulsion and braking, bogies, and of course yung couplers. So just a quick definition, ang electrical system is ito yung talagang nagpa-power ng train natin in terms of electronics and main power niya. So it could be powering up 11 kV from 1000 volt AC or 750 volt DC. Yung pneumatic naman niya is for yung leveling, especially when it comes to the ride comfort of the vehicles. Vehicle doors, it's as you can see, it's the vehicle doors which allows the passengers to be safe when it moves. At the same time, HVAC is yung heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system, propulsion and braking, the one that moves the cars or the rolling stock, as well as what helps it to stop safely. Bogies are the underframe compartments that holds your body of the cars, and couplers are the one that connects the different car sections. Ito yung matitawaging bagon in layman's terms sa Pilipinas. Next is yung power distribution naman. And power distribution is the one that provides electricity sa entire system. So when we say entire rail system, it's not just the vehicle, but also includes your wayside or yung tinatawag nating main line, the depot, the central, and then the vehicle itself. So kapag pumunta kayo sa isang substation, tinatawag natin, you will see a cabinet similar to this. So yung cabinets niya, this is pumapasok yung main power from the supplier, which then be stepped down depending on the power voltage usage, and at the same time rectified into different voltage qualities and perspective. So ito yung mga different subcomponents niya. From the track perspective, we have what we call yung third rail. So tinatawag siyang third rail because on the far right and the middle rail that you see here is where the train passes through. On the left side, as you can see here, is actually the one that powers the vehicle. So doon kinukuha yung power niya, kaya siya tinawag na third rail. And this is one, I guess, that is common to everyone, especially in Manila, kasi ang ginagamit natin is yung catenary, wherein the power is above the rail and it's being captured collectively. Okay. Next in particular yung data transmission system, and this is much more touching up ECE. So on DTS or data transmission system is a network that provides private information transfer medium from the entire rail. So when we say entire rail, we have what we call TWC or train to wayside communication, and the backbone of that is fiber. So when it goes to data transmission, we have what we call the gigabit fiber turbo ring that loops around the station. At the same time, it ends per equipment room of the station, and then it moves out into a twisted pair cable or yung mga Ethernet cables natin. So meron din tayong means of communication towards the Wi-Fi and other telecommunication devices.
But at the end of the day, the main backbone of the transmission is yung fiber core natin. Okay? So any question po ba? So just in case lang. So next one is yung communication systems natin. So when we say communication system, these are the systems that are related to different interfaces that helps the medium for different systems, different users, and different profiles para maging interlinked yung buong rail system natin. So first off is yung MSN or yung tinatawag nating multi-service network. In our industry, the multi-service network is the complementary or supplementary network within that DTS or the data transmission system. So as I mentioned, you have your gigabit, and with your gigabit, you have your different network switches and routers and your cabinets. So if you're still very familiar with OSI layer, and this is where it is encompassed. So multi-service network. So you have your layer 1, layer 2, layer 3 networks. So once you have your network settled in, then you have your end equipment asset that is connected to this multi-service network. So dito pumapasok lahat ng data traffic natin sa railway. Next is yung telephone or emergency call box. So by the term itself, telephone network, this is being connected internally within the railway. And when we say emergency call box, these are direct line telephone networks that is used either by the commuter or the maintainer in such a way that when they activate it, either by lifting the handset or pressing a button, magde-direct connect sila sa central control operator. And this is only internal, as I mentioned, and it's not gonna go outside the rail network for different stations. So hindi ka pwedeng makatawag from your home using this telephone emergency call box. Next is yung time division system. So time division system is the core system that we have to synchronize all of the assets within the railway. Now, in terms of TDS, we have several layers of timing synchronization. So we have the main time source that we have. It's either through atomic clock or a GPS or global positioning satellite. Now, atomic clock is good. It's very accurate. However, it's very expensive. That's why in the industry, we're always using the GPS because a GPS uses 3 satellites, and then at the same time, it's also synchronized from a certain level. At the same time, when you look at the master, it goes to the slave networks wherein yung stations or control centers, and then that scaling system goes down to your end assets such as your telephone network, your CCTVs, your advertisement signs, so forth and so on. Guess for that, next in particular is yung public address systems. Public address systems in comparison with the next one, which is yung public information system. So when you say address, this is how when you communicate to your commuters through audio. And when you say audio, this could be an announcement system with your speakers and your microphones communicated from the train, from the station platform, or even from the control center. Next is yung digital video and voice recording system. Ginagamit ito for archiving and investigation purposes. At the same time, when we say digital video and voice, so from a global perspective ng railway, we have one video interfaces is yung called na CCTV, which I'll explain later. In terms of voice, we have 2 channels. Yung first channel niya is yung telephone emergency call box, and then the other one is yung through NBR or narrow band radio system related to a similar function as your walkie-talkie. Okay, next po ito is yung public information display system. So as I mentioned, as comparison to public address, which is voice, public information is yung display, what you see. So when you go to a platform and you see your LCD screen, your LED screen na nag-display ng information na timing ng cars, advertisement system, this is the public information display system. Next is yung closed circuit television, which is everyone I believe is very familiar. So ito yung CCTV which captures images and videos to all of the information either from the train, from the cars, or from the stations or even control centers. Next naman is yung broadband radio system. Ang broadband radio system's main purpose is to transmit the video recordings from your cars or trains all the way to control center or in station. Kasi as we know, video has a bigger bandwidth and capacity and size as compared to audio. That's why it's called broadband radio system. Next naman is yung intrusion alarm system. Has something to do with access. When you say access, it's either from the train, from the station doors or equipment rooms. And with this intrusion alarm system, we are able to know who enters where, at what location, and when. So it's not a simple opening the door, closing the door. So there are a lot more access and information to that. Next is yung narrowband radio system, and this is what I mentioned a while ago. When you see narrowband, the most common that we use in the rail industry is what we call TETRA, or terrestrial trunk radio access system, wherein our walkie-talkies or units are within the network and with different channels. Next is yung video broadcasting system, and as I mentioned, video broadcasting system in comparison with information display is that we broadcast information either live or in definition for commercial uses. Ito yung makikita natin sa screen na nag-advertisement through a live channel, through a satellite channel, or even live announcement within the station itself or even including outside. And last one is yung onboard system. Yung onboard system, talking about communication, is everything that you see now, compact and compressed, and installed within the car or within the train. So you can imagine the volume and gravity on how modular all of these systems are installed in the train system. Okay, so that is what your communication system is. Next, in particular for us in terms of principles is the signaling. And in signaling system, I would like to share with you two major idea, which is the concepts and the future. So when you go to railway practice, this is what the goals are for the signaling system. The main one is to control the movement of the train. And the second one is to detect it. So yung detection na tinatawag natin. When the cars are or where the cars are at what certain point of time. And lastly, to oversee all of those control and detection is of course your supervision on how you could supervise that using a MMI or man-machine interface or human-machine interface that we could use for both purposes. Now, in terms of train control, from the work history of that, we start with on-site kasi ito yung mga manual driving, may train driver tayo. So whatever I see, the train driver see, that is how we control it. Next is time interval, literally time. So for a certain period of time, a train is in this area, and then at the same time, by the moment the time lapses, it should be on the second stage. Next part is yung absolute block or a certain section in terms of track. So when you say track section, this is where you have a dedicated track section defined by that location of the train. Next is yung multiple aspect. So when you say multiple aspect, imagine yung roads natin. Yung aspect is what we call yung signal lights. So when a train is within a certain area, it will be defined by the signal lights ng traffic natin. So you have your green and you have your red. So when a driver sees a signal light as red, which means merong train system within that specific area, and he's not allowed to enter that, similar as your car. Kaya siya tinawag na multiple aspect kasi because it's defined by different signal lights. Next naman natin dito is yung moving block. So as compared to absolute block, which is predefined distance, yung moving block naman natin moves along together with the car or with the train system. So it's not defined by specific distance such as, let's say, 100 meters, 200 meters. But as the train moves, the train envelope or identity of the car also increases and decreases. There are several factors into this technology because it is defined by different criteria such as the speed of the car, yung distance ng braking, emergency stop, and other information. And lastly, of course, is yung communication-based train control, which is more widely used right now pagdating sa train control natin. So when you say communication, this means that the train is communicating to control center through a wireless communication or a fixed communication line that is being analyzed by an operator. Now, on the other hand, when we say train detection, this is where we visibly see where the train is. So first off is yung track circuit natin, which is what we call the electric. And this is where the presence of the train is detected by the presence of the wheel. So pag pumasok yung train, short circuit na yung isang system. And then by that signal, this is where it's being identified na merong train within that area. Next is yung jointless track circuit or frequency based. So as compared to track circuit or electric, which is around 24 volts circuit, ito namang track circuit frequency is sound. So at different track section, it has a certain frequency that it uses or generates when the car is present on that specific area. So meron tayong tinatawag na 2400 Hz frequency, 5400 Hz frequency, and this is readable by the system itself. Next is yung axle counters. So when you say axle counters, this is where the train is being detected by the first wheel of the car when it enters a section and by the last wheel of the car when it leaves that specific section. So imagine meron kayong line ng tao na papasok sa pintuan. So the first person will open the door and then the last person will close the door. So it's the same logic as the axle counters. Yung treadles naman is just an emergency device that is being detected for emergency purposes. So it's similar to axle counter, but treadles is a switch that gets activated pagpasok ng train sa emergency area. Odometer, on the other hand, is same as odometer as your car, so it captures it by mileages. And lastly, yung new one is through GPS or global positioning satellite. So there is a presence there that really gives information towards satellite and accurate to, let's say, +5 or 10 meters. Okay? Next naman natin is yung automatic train control system. So when you say automatic train control system, it is encompassing of three major ideas, which is yung first one, automatic train protection, yung which is more in charge for train and the passenger safety, added by your automatic train operation, which is to optimize yung movement ng cars. So sa previous presentation ng rail portfolio, I hope you're able to see there, it says 60-second headway. So when you say headway, this is the time or period from one train to the next para mag-move within the passenger area. And lastly, of course, is yung automatic train supervision. And this is where you supervise all of the operation of the vehicle. So when you come to your interview in terms of industry, when they ask you what is an ATC system for railway, you can always say it comprises of three factors, your ATP, ATO, and ATS. Okay, now what I'll show you is the new technology being researched by Korea, which is the new knowledge of autonomous train control system. So from this video, you will be able to see the development of the train detection and train control line by line. So ito yun, train-to-train communication-based system. So hopefully you were able to from train to wayside communication, and that the future of it is actually train-to-train communication. So it will limit yung headway niya, yung gap. It will improve yung commuters' experience. At the same time, it will increase more ridership sa train system. And in particular, lalo na nga doon sa quality of safety niya. As you can see, we have removed the human factor in terms of the design of the future because human factor is one of the critical driver na mga failures lalo na in terms of health and safety. That's why we made it so objectively designed. Okay. So moving forward naman is yung different interfaces and emerging trends pagdating sa railway. Now we have samples here ng integrated systems. So when it comes to different integrated system, what we mean by that is, aside from the rolling stock system or the data transmission system, meron ding particular applications and technologies that work hand in hand with them. So ang una dito is yung platform screen doors. And unfortunately, in the Philippines, I haven't seen that. But in other countries, these platform screen doors are actually doors that prevents passengers from crossing overboard the main line sa tracks. And in particular, this is very important because somehow, if any door fails, it will cause a stoppage on the cars. That's why it is a separate system by itself. Next is yung fire protection system. So when you say fire protection, it's not fire detection, it's not fire prevention, it's the fire protection system because there are certain factors of it. It is designed proactively in such a way that there will be a detection for fire factors, and then at the same time, it automatically prevents it from either increasing in volume or escalating it to a higher level. So that detects it, activates it when it's there, and at the same time, it's linked also to the train movement. Next is yung tunnel ventilation system. Now, tunnel ventilation system is a different interface because by the word itself, tunnel, when you go underground, lalo na dun sa Mega Manila Subway project natin, this is very critical because if there are any emergency cases, part of it is to safely move the passengers away from the danger and towards the safety. So when you say tunnel ventilation, it encompasses yung light, on how the lighting system will work in case of fire, lalo na pag may smoke. Ventilation when it comes to your air. So it needs to extract, for example, pag may fire, yung smoke away from the passenger and let the passenger have breathable air. At the same time, signages and directions. Because when everything fails in the tunnel, it's going to be dark and passengers and people needs to understand where to go and how to go there. Next is yung environment control system. When we say environment control system, it has a similar function as your building management system in each station and platforms. Environment in the sense that it also has control over your humidity, your temperature, your air quality, so forth and so on. That's why environment control system is an integrated system that makes it comfortable for the passengers within the station or depot. Kasi kasama rin dito yung lighting. Next is yung, of course, automatic fare collection system. And in the Philippines, they call it beep card. Ito yung, syempre, revenue generating system, which is very important in terms of making the operations possible. And lastly is yung rolling stock system, which is encompassing dun nga sa sinabi ko kanina, when it comes to your pneumatics, your bogies, your HVAC, your propulsion and braking, your couplers, and all of those. So right now, I'm just giving you the quick description and hopefully you'll be enticed to research more on them. Kung meron kayong question, feel free naman to reach me through the IECEP car, Ma'am Rivera, and even your coordinators. Next in line is yung emerging trends. So as I mentioned, the railway also adopts technologies within its portfolio. So we also implement 5G, yung AR, VR, and MR. So ang difference niya is augmented reality, virtual reality, and mixed reality. So when you go, by the time you're outside, this is very applicable because it also covers how we operate and how we maintain yung mga railway train system natin. Next is big data. So big data naman is literally big and then data. In particular, there's a big difference between data and information. When you go to your class about data management, you will know that data are information that we classify and identify to serve the purpose of your objective. Lalo na sa railway kasi nga, ang railway natin captures a lot of data, in particular for the ECE perspective or electronics, because everything is within the internet line, lalo na yung IoT technologies. Next up is yung drones, lalo na pagdating sa maintenance natin. These are robots and mobile robots that is currently being used also in the railway. Next in particular is yung AI or artificial intelligence. Dito natin makikita yung coordination between big data and AI. And lastly is yung green technology. So when we say green technologies, dito yung mga solar, hydrogen technologies. In fact, my employer is the only railway system that provides a train that runs through hydrogen fuel cell. In fact, they did a dry run couple years back na meron silang hydrogen powered train to run in a full single charge which lasted around close to 2,000 kilometer ang tinakbo niya. Single charge lang siya. So hindi siya gumagamit ng electricity, hindi siya gumagamit ng power line from your power distribution system, hindi rin siya gumagamit ng coal. Instead, it uses hydrogen fuel. Okay, in particular naman, ito yung samples natin. Hopefully, you'll be able to understand how we are using the emerging technologies in railway. So first up is yung AR.
Nell'ambito del tema Industry 4.0, nel 2016 Alstom sceglie Joinpad come partner tecnologico per la sua esperienza decennale nel settore della realtà aumentata in ambito industriale. Il processo preso in esame è quello dell'assistenza remota che mette in comunicazione un operatore esperto con gli operatori sul campo.
Smart Assistance è un prodotto Joinpad, progettato per semplificare la comunicazione tra un operatore remoto e un operatore sul campo. Utilizzando la realtà aumentata è possibile in tempo reale condividere oggetti virtuali sul campo visivo degli utenti. Smart Assistance è un prodotto cross-platform, è disponibile per smart glasses, tablet e web.
Dai test effettuati sul campo abbiamo avuto dei riscontri molto positivi. Questo ci ha convinto a passare in produzione. Inoltre abbiamo integrato il sistema con altre funzionalità tipiche dell'Industria 4.0 come il Big Data e l'intelligenza artificiale.
Questo rappresenterà la naturale evoluzione della piattaforma industriale.
Okay, so yun yung application ng AR/VR. So next one naman is yung application ng drone. Okay, so ito po yung definitions natin for interfaces and emerging trends and technologies. And hopefully I was able to introduce to you the different technologies we are incorporating sa railway system. More specifically, as you would have observed, most of them are related to our profession, which is electronics engineering. Okay, let's go up to the next part, which is your real professionals and roles. Now, when you graduate from your course, which is ECE, wala naman tayong specific role or position sa industry na tinatawag na electronics engineer. In reality, this could be defined into two paths. You could you could choose the management expertise. When it comes to these the ECE profession can be involved with. So the first one is yung design engineering. So as you can see, ang railway system, as I keep on mentioning, it's not just the train itself, but the different technologies adapted to it. And as an ECE, with your background and knowledge of the different principles and technologies within the different subsystem, you could be part of design engineering. When it comes to design engineering, you could focus yourself to a different or specific area of expertise. Now, kung babalikan yung communication system, it could be from your MSN, your CCTV, your telephone network, your public address, public information, broadcasting system, onboard system, time division system, so forth and so on. So that's where design engineering comes into play. Next is yung engineering support. Of course, when you do your design engineering and you go to your implementation and when your project runs, there will always be a support. And this is where your engineering support comes in. When a particular system works and it fails, and it's not covered in your vendor manual or your manuals, the engineering support is there to troubleshoot it and provide you technical guidelines and references to be able to maintain the operability of it. So next naman after engineering support is yung safety engineering. Ito yung isang particular facet ng engineering that is often neglected. Kasi whenever we design a certain technology, especially in the railway, it always comes with a safety validation. When you get into an interview, and this is what I also ask dun sa mga applicants that I undergo during the interview, what is the number one priority in railway? The right answer there is safety is the number one priority. Right now, when a car fails, when there's a damage in your vehicle, it could always be replaced. It could always be fixed. On the other hand, when a person loses his limb or nagkaroon ng accident and worse comes to worse, died, they can never be replaced or fixed. That's why the essential of railway is always safety. Next naman is integration and testing. Looking back at my presentation, from the core systems all the way to communications and signaling, there will always be a time when you need to integrate and combine all of them. When you combine and integrate all of them, you have to prove that it works, and this is where testing comes into play. And in my line of work, this is what I really love kasi you can design it, you could provide the support, you could make sure that it's safe, but when it comes to homologation, this is where it's very important because you need to prove that it works first. Next is yung systems engineering. Ang systems engineering, as I mentioned, is particular system, as I mentioned a while ago, in terms of communication, core system, as well as your interfaces. So you could focus on a certain area. For example, I want to be a systems engineer pagdating sa CCTV. When I go to CCTV, I could focus either on onboard or in the station or on the track or the main line. So ito yung systems engineering. Next is signaling engineering in particular. Now, looking back again, when you say signaling, remember again the concepts of it. You have three. The control of the trains, the detection of the train and your supervision of the train. So that's the main force of that signaling. And for us, we don't combine signaling with the systems because they have different objectives and they have interlock within each other. Next one is in software engineering. In the world that we live in, software is very important. So if you're a person that likes to code, lalo na sa mga Python, sa web, C++, C++, we still use that. And you like to the analogy of designing how one hardware should function defined by your software. So nandito yon, meron din tayong software engineering part. And lastly, of course, is yung network and radio engineering. And when you say network and radio engineering, this is where your DTS comes into play, your expertise in network, your expertise in telecommunication network, and how you interface them. Because despite all of the engineering that you have seen from the technical roles, the network and radio is the one that lets them communicate. So ito yung highway of information natin pagdating sa technical roles. Okay, now we are done with the technical role. The next part is the management. So when you go to management pagdating sa railway, of course, you will have your expertise in your different fields, but you also have to bear in mind that you can be a product management or a product manager. When you say product manager, you manage the product itself from concept all the way to demobilization or end of life phasing. Nandun kayo sa in charge ng mga technologies niya, upgrades, so forth and so on. Next is yung performance management. So when a product is done, you then measure the performance of it based on the design or the customer requirement. Dito papasok yung mga key performance indicators and service level agreement and how you manage and maintain the operability of your system or even your train. Next is yung configuration management. With all of the technologies integrated into one, there will always be a configuration setup of each subsystem. So when you say configuration, you have both hardware and software. This has a corresponding link to your interface, to your requirement management, contract projects, design engineering, systems engineering, and other technical back office support. So ito yung tinatawag nating engineering directors, engineering management that oversees the whole design of it or yung tinatawag nating design authority. Next in line is yung project management. We are very familiar with it because this is where we implement the project. So this encompasses how you cover the entire scope in terms of scope, cost, as well as manpower, making sure that you deliver a quality project and product. And lastly naman is yung leadership. So when it comes to leadership, this is where the main responsibility is to strategize the business. So when you say strategize, you foresee the business or the product or the engineering not this year, not next year, but your vision should be within 3, 5, and onwards. So dito nga papasok yung mga bids natin, bids and tenders. Dito papasok yung technology adaptation, mga emerging technologies, and how you would incorporate that with the product line that you deliver. Okay, next naman is yung process. There are a lot of processes that you could understand and you could learn as you go along. But one thing in mind is this process of 50126. Ito yung tinatawag natin V model, representation ng work packages matrix system. For railway, this is very important because this is how we certify the product in terms of its safetiness and applicability for passenger service. Everything starts with a concept or idea, and this is where you really define what you want. For example, in North-South Commuter Rail, we foresee one from Bulacan all the way to Cavite, And that is where the concept begins. You then define your system requirements from that idea, and this and safety engineering. Now, once that's defined, you go to your system selection, make sure that you have the right system for your product or your geographic location. And after that, you then do the design. So once you do the design, it gets approved. This is where the customer and the engineering or the supplier discusses on those perspectives. And once they agree on it, then they manufacture the product or they create it. So once they create it, then they send it for installation on site or even at the other end. At the same time, you validate it, your system validation. Now, if you can see, there are two sides on the corner where it says verification, and you also have one side in terms of validation. The big difference there is when you say verify, you verify the routine function of your product, either from the manufacturing, which is from your left side, your concept idea all the way to manufacture, and then you also verify that from manufacturing all the way to your site or your train system. On the other hand, validation is where you prove your system requirement all the way to your system acceptance. Ito yung mga one-time test or type test that is done on the product to ensure that your interface requirements, your legal requirements, your contractual requirements are met in a particular scenario. So after the system validation, this is where you go to your system acceptance, or what we call homologation. And your system acceptance is when you run a certain scenario that will define your system level availability, your safety performance, and other requirements presented for by the customer or your client. And of course, once the system is accepted, you then do your operation maintenance. And when you do operation maintenance, you do your data management. And lastly, for that perspective is yung decommissioning, disposal, and also yung overhauling and improvements. So ito yung V life cycle that is applicable not just for the railway, but for all of the technologies or interfaces that being followed pagdating sa projects. Okay? So that's the process that we have in place. And in terms of qualifications, this is just three that we usually have references. The first one is your bachelor's degree. In particular, lalo na pag nag-abroad kayo, titignan yung bachelor's degree kung applicable siya or equivalent ba siya doon sa degree required for the role, specifically doon sa legal requirements ng countries where you worked on. And I'm very proud for the, I'm not being biased, but for SLU, because when I had my bachelor's degree assessed for by the US CIS authority, they were able to compare and provide a certificate that the electronics and communications engineering degree that I had with SLU is also comparable to the United States curriculum for their electronics engineering. Next up is yung master's degree. So once you reach your bachelor's degree, you could further your academic qualification by getting a master's degree. It could either be, again, a technical master's degree or a management bachelor's degree. So when you say management, it usually comes with your executive leadership, your MBA, business administration, and on the other hand is your technical. So you have your master's in ECE, master's in information computing sciences, master's in data communication and other part. And lastly is yung doctorate or yung PhD's degrees. So ito pa yung one step higher. Now, moving forward is yung technical naman. In my line of work, especially in my experience, these are the technical expertise that you need to be aware of and you need to develop at the early stage. So first one is HW or SW. So if you're familiar with it, HW is your hardware and your SW is your software. In our current industry, we always have a command in terms of hardware and how it communicates with software. This is where you need to understand how it works and how they merge together to make it, to operate that. Next is yung data. As part of a simple analogy, especially if you're familiar with PLC, there are 4 modules or informations that is captured by the PLCs. And these are your I/O inputs or outputs. You have your digital inputs, your digital output, your analog input, and your analog output. And all of those are considered data. And when you collect them, this is where you need to understand what to use, what to filter, how to use them, and how to implement that in your design to better your performance and your also service availability. Next is yung coding. It's very difficult now to live in a world wherein everything is within the internet, everything is run by software. Right now, it's good to have a start in how to do logics, how to understand algorithm, how to create codes, and how to provide those information and analyze them in the long run. The next one is yung network. So when I say network, it's not networking na common yung mga pyramiding. It's not that. When you say network, it's how the OSI layer works. Because for ECEs, our main idea is yung OSI layer. It always communicates with the data. And when you do your troubleshooting, which is the next one, is yung root cause analysis, RCA, especially yung writing. Kasi when you are at the field, there will be no guidelines on how you're going to troubleshoot. Most of the time, they will provide you a vendor manual, but it's within yourself or within your background and I guess yung knowledges on how you will start that. Your RCA is very important because as an expert, we need to understand how we troubleshoot, what the issues are, and we need to relay that information to a person that really is at the technical point. Ito yung stronghold natin as an expert or a technical, and once and information to a platform where they understand it is going to be your strength. Lalo na kapag ang kausap nyo is mga executive, mga leadership na ang background is finance, ang background is business management, ang background is HR. It's for you, it's your task to translate your message to a form that they will really understand in terms of analogy. Okay, now moving forward in terms of management, this is an excerpt from PMI or Project Management Institute. So when you go to management, there are separate entities that you could work into. This is your integration, as I mentioned, one system to the next, your human resource, your scope management. These are the ideas that you need to understand when you do your management. Communications, how you interact with your ideas and your concerns. Next is yung time management on how you manage the time in respect with yourself, with your colleagues, with your subordinates, and with your customers. The next one is yung risk. Everything needs to have a risk assessment and management because we cannot predict what will happen. But as a technical expert, you will understand and provide initial idea on what are the potential risks and hazards that encompasses your process. And also with your process, for example, meron kang risk of electrocution, meron kang risk of accident, and this is where you handle it. Next part for the management is yung cost. Of course, everything runs, and in business, they say cash. Oh, sorry. So, sorry for that. Okay, let's go back. Time, risk, and cost. Or should sorry. Oops. Sorry. Let me just repeat that. There, I get stuck. So as I was saying, in terms of management, you have your cost, and in business, they always say cash is king. You need to understand your budget, your other direct costs, especially pag nagra-run kayo ng project. This is something that you need to be aware of as well. Next is yung procurement. So in terms of procurement, everything needs to be built, but everything needs to be purchased. And when you say purchase, you need to procure those materials. When it comes to procurement, you need to understand yung storage facilities, yung storage processes, yung logistics of it. Because in a certain project, you have a limited time for your scope. You need to understand your lead times on the repair parts and other stuff. Okay. Next is yung quality. Of course, everything needs to be delivered in quality, because if you don't deliver your product in your process with quality, you will have a cost overrun. Meron kayong limitations in terms of how you spend on your project. And if you don't control your quality, you will have a lot more to spend on the reworks, fixing ng mga open items and stuff like that. And lastly, for management is stakeholder. Stakeholder are all parties, internal stakeholders. So when you say internal stakeholders, this is within your group, within your function, within your employer, or within your company. When you say external stakeholders, these are the counterparts that you serve for. It could either be your customers, your clients, the media, and other parties that are not within your organization. Okay. Next naman po is yung personal devices ko. By the time that you are out. So first is yung ethics. Even though we are, or you guys will be the technical expert, you need to understand that there are boundaries and limitations that you need to work with. For me, ito yung talagang I stand by pagdating so once you pass your board and you see that the responsibility and accountability that you need to abide with to your country, to your colleagues, to the public, and to your employers. You need to abide by them, because this is something that will differentiate you from other person in terms of your work ethics, your work culture. And believe me, they will recognize that moving forward. At the same time, you don't need to overstep on anyone to better level yourself up. You could always do that. Sabi nga nila, it's better to do it alone than to do it with many. Everyone's doing it. At the same time, one of the things that for me personally, I don't buy with is the concept of it one. And I'll make sure if I don't know it, I will know someone who does, or I will make sure by the time concept na kailangan nyo ma-adapt in the long run. Mention again yung RCA and writing skills. As an expert, ito yung naglalak sa mga Filipino professionals. We are good at executing. We are good at troubleshooting. We are even good at implementing certain scenarios and finding solutions. However, pagdating sa reporting, doon nag-excel yung iba. So hindi na-recognize yung contribution ng experts. So right now, if you still have that technical writing course, you could even get an understanding or take an off course such as your Excel presentations, your PowerPoint, your Prezi, and other means and mediums, because how you collect your idea and how you present it to other person is how they appreciate you as a person and also as a profession. Without these presentation skills, especially with your communication on how you elaborate on your ideas, it will be very hard for you to progress. You need to gain the confidence in enunciating your pronunciation, your communications, because without them, you will never be able to really grow in the industry. Next one is yung continuing development. In the Philippines, I know this is a big topic, but personally, I would continue that because for me, in my experience, I had several colleagues that really don't like CPDs or continuing development. They don't learn. They are very complacent on what they are now. And I guess that is my big difference with them. For me, I don't stop learning. There are still emerging technologies in the long run. What technology we have now, especially by the way that electronics and technologies run, could be obsolete 2 or 3 years from now. And that is why continuing development within yourself and your skills is very important. You could invest personally when you grow in terms of spreading. I did not stop from learning, even though when I'm working, uh, I always study. I always do in advance, especially with how my former teacher, like Engineer Lane Rivera, pushes us during school. So whatever they tell you, you could adapt that. And if you have read the outlier, you will always hear the magic number, yung 10,000 hours. What it means is, when you do something for 10,000 hours, you will become an expert to it. That even if you close your eyes, no one can you. And I can prove that. Face the back so you can see kung sino yung copy from here, copy from there. By doing that, I was able to see that no one can help you but yourself. At the same time, you need to focus on your objective and your goal to be able to solve any issues that you have in front of you. The second part is yung always yung tutor sa amin ni Engineer Walshen was be proactive. They always say na be proactive. We don't know that. Before the class, there's always a announcement. Be proactive. By the time the class finishes, we always say be proactive. When you're at the field, being proactive means that you will understand the risk and task you will be given to on a certain day, but at the same time, moving one step ahead. You learn what the product is, you learn what the possible issues are. So by the time you're there at that certain situation, you will have an understanding on how to approach it. And this is where you need to excel. You might exert extra effort, but once you do that, you will be very easy for you to work. Because in my personal experience, it's very easy especially when I moved to the US. I thought that it's going to be a challenge, but it was beneficial because yung mga continuing development ko before, with all of the subsystem that I showed you, with all of the interfaces in terms of signaling, I personally undertaken some trainings and lectures and even design on those. That's why when I came to my role, it was very easy for me to work and support the team because I already have gained that knowledge even before the situation came into play. Okay? And last part is, of course, in stress management. And when you say stress management, it's not time, it's not effort, it's stress. Because you will always need to maintain good health in your body. Kasi nga, when a person leaves the company or when a person dies, they will always be replaced by someone else, even before someone departs. So in my current role, in my current level sa company, we are mandated to appoint our successors. And believe it or not, that successors has a certain levels. So we have what we call, let's say, emergency successor, successor now, successor 1 to 2 years from now, even successor 3 to 5 years. That's why you need to maintain a healthy body, especially a healthy mind, because when you're at the industry, it's going to be stressful. And when you're stressful, you'll not be able to perform effectively. That's why you need to control your body, how you think, how you react, including your diet, how you spend your time. You need to make sure you have a work and life balance, more specifically if you have your family, because it's going to be difficult if you have your work catching up to your personal life. And that is why stress management is very important. Okay, and then a last part, the one thing that I would like to share with you is yung gymnastics pagdating sa understanding ng competency development. So this will give a quick idea of why continuing development is very important. And then this is something visual that you will see now. What could be the golden standard couple of years back will not be the golden standard now and moving forward. So ito po yun. Okay? So yun po makikita nyo, yung sa left side is yung 1950s and then the right side 2016. So what you saw on the left was the gold medal Olympics at that year, and then comparison 2016 was the gold medal awardees on the right. So you see the different level of difficulties that they have a difference with, and it is even exponentially exponentially varies lalo na sa railway, sa electronics industries kasi ang technology natin is fast changing, and based on the ground of it changes every 2 years. So you need to adapt very quickly. Okay, to wrap up, yung summary po natin for this webinar is rail transportation immensely addresses the UN Sustainable Equipment Programs through carbon emission reduction and the overall sustainability. At the same time, rail engineering is composed of several layers of technologies and systems. So hindi lang po siya the train itself or yung vehicle. It has a lot more, specifically on the communication system, on the signaling, as well as the different interfaces, in addition to the emerging technologies. So whatever emerging technologies we have now, I am 110% certain that it's going to be adopted into the rail. One particular thing there is yung trend na for AI as well as in quantum computing. Next, electronics engineering are widespread throughout the rail industry. So as you've seen, we have the communication systems, so you could be exposed to that. You could start from one system to the next, and as you move along, move to the different scopes such as integration and testing, design engineering, safety engineering, so forth and so on. Okay, then next is yung technical and management roles are the way forward for engineering professionals. So as I mentioned, we have 2 tracks for an electronics engineering and any engineering per se, and that is your technical expertise. So you'll be a specialist on a certain subsystem, and at the same time, yung management roles, wherein you could be a product all the way to your leadership roles. And lastly, is yung rail enthusiasts can enter the industry through the different process groups. So you have your different process groups in terms of product management, but you also have the different systems for rail industries. Okay po, and that wraps up my presentation for now. So if you have any question, feel free to raise them. Yes po.
Ayun, sir. Thank you. Again, sir, thank you for imparting your knowledge to us about the roles of ECE in the transportation sector. So, sir, to maximize the time po, I sent you, sir, questions from the pre-registration
I see.
for this webinar, sir. And
Sure.
ayun, sir, to maximize the time po, while you go over the questions po, magpa-games po muna kami.
Okay, sure.
Okay. We will call you back later, sir, after for your answers.
Okay.
And thank you, sir. And for additional questions, if you have, please, lagay nyo na lang po sa chat box or message us directly. Thank you, sir. Partner, where are you? Yun ka na naman, partner. Where are you?
Teka, ayan.
Yan.
Hi. So, ayan na. Ito na ang pinakahinihintay din ng lahat na isa, which is
Sorry na
our
po.
mini game. Let's play and code decode. Ayan. Next slide tayo. Ayan. So, how to play? Letters will be given and you have to decode the message behind the series of letters. Each letter is assigned to another is assigned to letter Z, letter B to Y, and so on. To make things easier, the chart will be displayed on the screen. Your answer must be in all caps, and wrong spelling wrong. Ayan. So the first participant with the correct Zoom name format to decode the answer and send it in the chat box will be acknowledged as the win. So yung prize natin will be sent via, ano yun, partner?
Gcash.
Yay!
Gcash, diba? Yes. So our committee members will ask the winners later for your info. Pag nanalo kayo. Kaya syempre, participate kayo, diba? Yes? Ayun yung mag-react. Di namin ibibigay.
Yes!
Decision.
Matulog na ba kayo?
Ayan.
Hindi pa naman siguro,
Hala, feel
no?
ko tulog na sila. Oh, hindi
Ay,
pa.
wag.
Ayan,
Ang ganda
trial
pa ng
round.
discussion kanina.
Diba? Grabe, oo nga eh. Sir, baka kung pwede po mag-apply dyan, baka
Marami.
ayan,
I'm
trial
not
round muna
sure yet,
tayo.
pero just in case, it will already announced, I guess, in our Alstom profile. So lately we've won, I guess, yung North-South Commuter Rail Turnkey project. So there will be opening in the long run. And this is where you need to start developing yourself and skills. Okay.
Sige, sir. Thank you, sir. Segue lang, sir. Ayun. So, for our trial round, ayan, guys. Try nyo siya i-decode. You only have 30 seconds per round. Anyone from our committee member, pwede bang may mag-aano ba doon? May mag-ooras ba dyan? Tama ba, decoding? Wait lang, hindi ko alam. Tama ba yung decoding? Next. Oy, tama. Ayun. Teka, ako na lang magta-timing ng 30 seconds para masaya. The first person na to chat in all caps and right spelling. Guys,
And
okay?
correct Zoom name format.
And correct name Zoom format. And, to give chance to everyone, once you won the previous round, give chance to others naman, ha? If you want to help your friend, help your friends, pero, give them the chance to win also. Okay? Okay. So, for the first round, for 50 pesos, the timer starts now. Sa totoo lang, hindi ko rin yan alam, partner.
Grabe, partner. Trial round pa lang, nahihilo na ako.
Ginawa namin actually dati yun sa nationals na webinar. Doon kami kumukuha ng games. Ayun. 10 seconds. Uy, may na. Tama ba? Anyone?
Paki-check.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ayun, stop. Time. Train station is the right answer. Sino na una? Ayun, galing SLU. Please open your camera to be recognized. Hindi mo makukuha ang prize mo pag hindi ka nag-on cam. Seryoso. Uy, ayaw mo ba manalo? Si Kuya Carl Vincent Batalon? I'm so sorry, my eyesight. Ayun, siya nga yung nanalo. Naka-on na ba yung admin? Ayun. Kuya, are you there? Ayun! Good morning po. What year na po kayo, Kuya?
Third year na.
Oh, third year na. Ayun, congratulations. Please smile for the camera for documentation purposes. Ayun, committee okay na ba? Anyone? So, our committee will contact you for your GCash info. Congratulations!
Thank you po.
Ayun, for the next round 2. 50 pesos ulit. Wait lang. I will set the timer. Ayun. Go na. So for round 2, start timer. Ayun, may naka-answer na ba? Wala pa.
Meron na
So,
ata, partner.
Ay, meron na nga. Ayun. Stop time. Si Richie June Santiago from SLU ulit. Hello? Ayun. Kuya, are you there? Yes. Ayun. Smile lang po sa camera to be recognized.
Ate, may nauna po ata sa kanya.
Ay, meron? Sino? Ay, hindi. Siya nga eh.
Locomotive
Locomotor
po.
yung... Yeah, locomotive po yung sagot, hindi locomotor.
Charot.
Ayun. Ayun. Congratulations, Kuya. Again, our committee member will contact you for your GCash info. Next na tayo. Okay. For 100 pesos, oh my God. Mas mahirap na. Yes. Yes. Okay, go. Meron na ba? Ayun. So anyone from our committee, ilan yung basta train daw. Sige. Push mo yan, Kuya. So sino yung nauna? Anyone? Committee? Una.
Si Noel.
Side si Henry.
Ano yung sagot? Hindi pwede pa flash the answer. Ayun, track circuit. Ay, mali. Mali si Noel. Ayun, si Henry. Ayun, siya yung nanalo. Henry, where are you? Smile ka lang. Ayun, thank you. Kukontakin ka for your GCash info. And for our last round, Lindell, for 100 pesos ulit. Sayang! Ayun, timer starts now. Wala pa bang sumasagot? Uy, 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. Ano yung sagot dyan? May nakasagot ba? Interlocking. Sino na una? Ayun, si Israel Santos. Oh my God. Ayun. Smile po. Antons. Sir?
Sure, sige po.
Sir, can you pick po 3 questions lang for you to answer po?
Okay. Sure.
Yes, sir.
Sige. Number 5, medyo tricky. Yung number 1 po, sige. As railways become more digitized, what skills and knowledge areas are becoming increasingly important for ECEs in this industry? So, ang sagot ko po dito kanina is yung nilagay ko sa inyo na technical roles pagdating sa hardware and software understanding. Lastly, siguro is yung coding. Kasi nga, every hardware and software that we have has a separate coding that comes with it. Lalo na pagdating natin sa emerging technologies, pag nag-focus kayo sa AI, sa big data, sa predictive maintenance, you need to have an understanding on how the codes work. Kasi when you understand the code, and then when they ask you to troubleshoot, you will be able to extract yung logs, analyze line by line kung ano yung common functionality on how it functions, and then you can pinpoint to the line where it actually fails. Because it's something that I was also familiar with, and I was able to be recognized kasi I was able to really dig down into the depth of analyzing those codes. So yun po. So yun yung isa. And then, siguro, ito, yung sinabi niyang number 3, can you explain the role of electronics in the implementation of automatic train control and driverless train system? So, I guess I could start with yung how the data transmission works. So as an electronics, it's in our scope pagdating doon sa data communication. So when you say data communication, this is when you convert your signals into an electronic code that gets transmitted either wired or wireless from point A to point B. When you say implementation, this is where electronics need to be involved in terms of designing them, making sure that it's safe, and more specifically in implementing and testing them. Kasi pagdating dito, when you're at the field and they ask you to do a dry run or a qualification test on the system of the automatic train control, you will have different grasp on understanding on how to execute them, on how it functions, and how you could recommend to make sure that it works safely. So yun po. And then at the same time, what measures are taken to ensure the reliability and robustness of electronic systems in railway environments? So when you say measures, it could be answered into 2 perspectives. So first is yung legal measures. So the legal measure is based on the geographic or political place that you are in. So kung meron silang basic standard practices, this is where it is being mandated kasi you're covered through their legal laws. The second part is yung international practice or standard pagdating naman doon sa product that you're developing. And this is where applicable dito yung mga international standard practices that are adapted based on the technology that you're currently working on. So pagdating, siguro one example is yung standard natin pagdating sa Ethernet. Meron na tayong Ethernet 5, 6, and 8. And then at the same time, yung standard natin sa wireless communication. You could even do your Wi-Fi technology pagdating sa telecommunication industry. And those standards set forth the safety of your product, but it does not cover the legal implications of the product you're developing and delivering. So yun po.
Ayun, sir, thank you po. Sir, very last question po for this webinar. Sir, po, when you, kasi sir, di ba, it's a big deal to have your license po here in the Philippines.
Yes.
But when you're applying po to international companies or to other countries, may weight po ba or may merit po when, yung license po namin?
Yes, right now, ito yung reason kung bakit mapapansin niyo dun sa profile ko. I have an APEC engineer registry. I have an ASEAN chartered. I also have an ASEAN engineer. Because when I was in Dubai, I saw that my colleagues, lalo na yung mga foreigners, they also have their chartered engineer profession. They also have their APEC engineering profession. Siguro hindi nyo pa napapansin or nakikita right now yung implications niya. But as you go along in your industry, pag lumabas kayo ng country, mas mapapansin yun. Kasi nga, for me, hindi ko pinursue yung chartered engineer ng UK, hindi ko rin pinursue yung international license ng ibang bansa. Kasi for me, meron naman tayo in the Philippines. In fact, we have ASEAN, we have ASEAN chartered, we have APEC. So, pag nag-exchange kayo ng business cards, makikita mo dun sa paper nila, chartered engineer UK, chartered engineer Europe. So, on my part, when I exchange my card, I show to them, it's APEC engineer, it's ASEAN engineer, and that is where the communication builds in. Nagkaroon ako ng conversation na, oh, you have so many, titles. Anong meron dyan? Parang gano'n. So, nagkaroon silang interest. So, when you graduate, I would highly recommend to take your license kasi even though pinakita ko dito sa presentation, academically, you need to have your bachelor's degree as well as your master's and PhD. But these three are based on your career growth or career performance. It has a corresponding compensation that comes with it. So, ibig sabihin, when you're a bachelor's degree, you are able to go to a technical role, such as a cognizant engineer, a CCTV engineer, and so forth and so on. But if you progress to your career, if you go to your management role and your leadership roles, this is where you need your master's degree and then PhDs. At the same time, yung licenses naman natin, although hindi recognized yung PRC license, they always recognize yung extensions that comes with it. So ito nga papasok yung RE9292 natin, at the same time yung mga APEC engineering.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So meron pong iba pang question. Maganda po yung magtanong kayo kasi it's for your future and it's going to be something that you need to prepare for in advance. Mukhang mahihain yung audience.
Sir, is it possible po na
Sir,
when-
bale, what we're going to do?
Okay, go
Sige,
ahead po.
partner. Go lang.
No, you go. Nahiya na ako.
Nahiya tuloy siya. Pero huwag kayong mahihiya, lalo na in your field. Kasi I grew up in Baguio. I was born in Manila. I have my education in the Philippines. Sa Baguio, I started dun sa Baguio Central School, then Baguio City National High School, and then I went to SLU. I was supposed to go to UB, pero because of Palarong Pambansa, I chose SLU. And then at the same time, when you go outside, right now, you are at the stage na you compete against yourself. Is it UC? Is it UB? Is it SLU? But once you graduate, you will be recognized only as an electronics engineer, electrical engineer. But if you spread your scope, lalo na pag lumabas kayo ng bansa, you will not be recognized as electrical engineer. You will not be recognized as a graduate from SAU. You will not be recognized as UC or UB, but you will be recognized either as a Filipino professional and either as a professional engineer or a non-professional engineer. Because sa Pilipinas, kapag PECE ka or meron kang right to sign and seal yung mga documentations and design, it comes with it as you go abroad. Because for me, for example, I'm an IPEC engineer. If I convert my license to the US, I could be awarded a professional engineer title, and then I could even sign and seal documents. So yun yung mga benefits niya. So right now, don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to say, I don't know. Don't be afraid to ask help because that is where you grow. And more specifically, huwag kayong matakot to make mistake. As long as your mistakes are not intentional, and as long as mistakes are because of you're doing something based on job, it's good. Because through mistakes is where you learn, and through mistakes is you develop. Because if you don't create mistakes, you never grow. You will never grow.
Ayun, thank you, sir. Sir, okay lang po ba what we will do is since you have the questions naman, sir, if there are other questions po, we will post na lang po the answers to our page.
Sure. Sige po. I
Okay.
can answer yung dalawang na remaining if you would like.
Yes, sir.
Sige.
Sir, we understand po kasi na late na dyan. We apologize for the time
Ngayon,
difference, sir.
nasa Angeles ako
Kaya,
kasi I'm overseeing yung one of my project. So it's 9 p.m.
ayun, yes, sir.
Doon sa Pittsburgh, yung home base ko, it's even worse kasi it's midnight already. So I'm okay with it. So, okay naman.
Ayun, sir. Sir, we will send you na lang po the questions through Ma'am Elaine, or if I can chat you po na lang the questions para we will po na lang po.
Okay.
Ay, pinapasagot po. Ay, sir, okay lang po ba pinapasagot na lang po ni Ma'am Elaine yung dalawa
Ano?
na natirang questions, sir?
Nasagot ko yung number
Sir, yung
2. Number 2, hindi ko pa nasagot. Could you discuss?
yes, sir.
Okay, yung second question is, could you discuss the challenges that ECE face when designing and maintaining railway control system? The biggest challenge that we have is an interface, because you need to understand that one system has a defined standards and has a defined properties that cannot simply work together with another one. So for example, meron tayong tinatawag na automatic train protection system, right? Pagdating sa signaling. When you say ATP, it has the full capacity and authority to stop train movement and also to make sure that the passenger service well sustained. So when you design a control system, for example, in case of an emergency, nagkaroon kayo ng fire within the station platform, matitrigger dito yung fire protection system, matitrigger dito yung communications, yung CCTV, matitrigger dito yung intrusion alarm system, matitrigger din dito yung automatic train operation system pagdating doon sa timetable. So how do you manage to make sure that by the click of a second, every interface will work? And dito nga papasok yung design ng isang CCTV. So for example, when the fire alarm detects your system for 30 seconds, it will keep it. And how will you make sure that after 30 seconds, your shutter door will activate, your communication broadcasting will activate, your recording will activate, your train system will be notified that it's not allowed to enter the train. So this kind of interfaces are the challenges that you have to understand. So you are limited within your system's function, but the way you design it is you need to make sure that everything is linked together to operate safely. Now, as a follow-up question, it says, what challenges do electronics engineers face when developing communication system for railway networks? So right now, the biggest challenge in a certain project is financial. So we could always provide them the best technology. We could always provide them the optimum and most efficient way. But at some point in time, it comes with a cost. nothing is free, lalo na sa industry natin. And this is where the limitation of the product is. I guess it's so lucky that railway project is funded by the government because the end user are the commuters. And I don't recall any private parties yet, but so far the bulk of the budget comes from the government. And without government funding, you are limited with the technology that you bring to that country. In fact, one of my proposal before, back in 2017, 2018, I'm not sure if I could announce this, was to link, since my product portfolio is automated people movers. So from the vision that you see, you have from airport all the way to the city. Now, one of my proposal before was to link NAIA Terminal 1, 2, and 3 with an automated people mover. I did my due diligence. I did my research. I did working for Dubai or EMEI, what we call Europe, Middle East, Africa, and India. And Philippines is not in my coverage. I linked with my colleagues in APAC region, which encompasses the Philippines. Nag-prepare kami, nag-meet up sila sa Thailand, sa Hong Kong, if I'm not mistaken. There were discussions, but some point in time, it stopped because the funding was not there. The government facing sees in the railway industry. So right now, I work for Alstom, and Alstom is a combination of two: the Alstom Transportation and Bombardier Transportation. They merged back in 2021 to form Alstom. And as you saw from my presentation, we have 70,000 employees, 17,500 of them are engineers. And if you want, you could even adapt towards different design. So if you look at your Google, if you look at the different companies, you have your Alstom, you have it really depends on how you approach it. Because for me, when I started my railway expertise, I came to Dubai. My first experience was for a semiconductor. I worked at Zilog sa I forgot yung lugar sa Sukat. Sukat. I forgot. Yun, sa Sukat din. Paranaque, sabi. And then when I moved to Dubai, nag-start ako sa Mitsubishi Heavy Railway Industries as a communication supervisor. And from then, I moved from site to site. Now, in terms of companies nga, it's up to you. Kung gusto niyo ng design, pwede kayo sa mga design perspective. If you want sa rolling stock, meron din mga rolling stock companies. But in your preference, what do you want? Do you want to be in the design? Do you want to be in testing and commissioning? Do you want to be in safety engineering? So that could dictate the path what you want to go into. Okay po?
Sir, do you recommend po yung kasi sir, yung, I think the most known railway company or government agency here in Baguio here in the Philippines is PNR. So, sir, do you recommend starting there po if ever there's an opening for ECEs?
Yes naman. In fact, I have my friends and colleagues working for the DOTR, Department of Transportation. We are always in contact with each other. And then at the same time, we actually still have a common communication, lalo na I'm still the vice chairman for IECEP Specialist Society. But your PRI, I guess, yung Philippine Railway Institute, to better understand how you operate and maintain it. And at the same time, maraming companies kasi DOTR ang government, so they oversee everyone. And then, if I'm not mistaken, meron ding Siemens, merong Alstom din sa Philippines, meron ding so those are the different companies currently in practice sa Pilipinas. So if you want, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Alstom also provides internship. I still have my contacts in the Philippines. We are currently finalizing the discussion with our colleague because in Alstom, we have what we call the Alstom University. I've already reached out with the SLU regarding that potential interface. And Alstom University is a repository and database of everything that has with rail. So if you're interested in systems, in communications, rolling stock, signaling, it's there. And once we launch it, I am really targeting Baguio to be one of the 5 locations we could implement that. And since we have already announced the award of the North-South Commuter Rail, I am very certain it will happen.
Ayun. So thank you po, sir, for answering our questions. Angela, are you there na ba?
So meron pa po questions?
Rinig na ba ako?
Ayun.
Grabe talaga pag nasa malayo. Anyway, so to proceed to the next part of our event, may we call again our IECEP CAR Vice Governor for Education, Ma'am Elaine Rivera, for the awarding of certificate.
Please, please flash the certificate. Yan. Sir June, we are very grateful talaga to have you with us. So, in behalf of the IECEP, we serving as a distinguished the exclusive IECEP CAR webinar entitled Railways and the Role of Electronics Engineers, held on August 28, 2020. The Zoom and valuable experience of our participants. So presented this 28th of August 2023 as a token of our sincere appreciation here in Baguio City, the Philippines. Signed by yours truly and Pauline Rose Tabra, the president of the student chapter. Maraming salamat,
More than
sir.
welcome po, ma'am. Appreciate it po sa invite and hopefully I could provide one face-to-face.
Yes, sir. Soon, sir, sabihin niyo sa amin. Kailan ang Balik Scientist Award?
And I'm very happy kasi marami pong interested. At the same time, as I mentioned kanina, it's a step forward. By taking enough time and effort, you will succeed. Kasi I've been there, been a student. I know there are some difficulties, challenges presented by your instructors or teachers, but learn from them because without their guidance, for me, personally, I won't be here. Hindi ko ma-achieve yung dynamics of working outside. I won't be able to adapt quickly sa industry once you graduate without the help of your instructors.
All right. Sir, before we let you go for you to sleep or to rest, may we have a photo op po? So requesting the participants to please turn on their cameras.
Ah, 4 pages po ito, 4 pages. Hold your smile.
Ayun. Thank you po, sir.
Thank you.
So with that, thank you very much once again to our honorable speaker, Engineer Gopela, for your time and for sharing everything that we have learned in today's webinar. So to our dear participants, for your certificate of appreciation, please answer the attendance form posted on our chat box. Can someone from the committee please post po yung attendance? And it's also shown on the screen. So this form will be open until extend na lang natin hanggang midnight tonight. So please make sure to answer the attendance form as soon as possible. So you need 70% to pass kasi po 70% ang passing natin sa board exams. Train na po natin. Yes po.
Quiz mo ha, Pauline.
Ma'am, based siya sa ni sir, nag-notes ako kanina.
Wow, sige.
Congrats.
So, ma'am, for the closing remarks po, may we call on Cyril, Vice President for Internal, External. Vice President of IECEP CAR Student Chapter, Cyril Cabingas. Linda, can you flash lang yung attendance para...
And hi, hello. Pauline, am I audible na?
Apo, go.
Okay. And so, as we approach the final stop of our webinar journey, entitled Railways and the Role of Electronics Engineers, I want to extend our deepest appreciation to Engineer June Lloyd Emerson Gopela, who joined us all the way from the United States to share his expertise. On behalf of the IECEP CAR Student Chapter and the audience, I extend a heartfelt thank you again for our resource speaker for this very informative topic and for the motivation that you impart on us. I hope that this activity sparked the minds of our future engineers who are with us this activity. And once again, to our audience, let us give our resource speaker a heart reaction naman po sa chat. And to our advisor, Engineer Elaine Rivera, and the committee who prepared this activity. Stay connected and keep the spirit of electronics engineering alive. As the philosopher Alvin Toffler once said, let us not stop to learn, relearn, and unlearn. Thank you very much po.
Sir, can you announce na rin yung our future activities plus our merch? Sir, are you there?
Yes. Okay.
For our activities also. Thank you.
Okay. So the IECEP National Student ano na yan? IECEP National Student Committee. We will IECEP CAR, yes. So this one. So the National Student Summit is on October 23 and 25. They entitled ECE Thrives. This is a webinar series for ECE student. For October 24 to 26, Pixel Perfect Digital Arts Competition, Spur of the Moment Impromptu Speech, Datathon Programming Competition, Innovative Research undergraduate research competition, and elimination round for Mr. and Miss Jessup. So to our audience, mga friends nyo that would like to join, please contact the IECEP CAR so that we will send out requirements for these upcoming events. And also, I would like to reiterate, we have our IECEP CAR merchandise that will be flashed on the screen. So please po.
So yung hindi po na-announce ni Cyril, we will be having tentatively the dates for our non-academic competitions. The final date for this is on October 7. This includes non-academic. Yes, September 23. Tama ba? Yeah, this September 23 for non-academic competitions. It includes the Pixel Perfect, the Spur of the Moment, and the Peace of Mind. So this will be the regional eliminations we will be having here in CAR. So the next is the October 7, 2023 at BBCCC. So this includes the Interscholastic Quiz Show 2023, the ECE Math Olympiad 2023, also the Elite Electronics Showdown, and the Circuit Crunch Challenge 2023. And lastly, we have the social competitions. Guys, please sumali kayo dito. So we will be having the Euphony 2023, which is the acoustic duet singing contest, the Step Up 2023, the folk modern fusion group dance competition, and may bago, yung Mic Drop 2023, which is a lip sync battle, and of course the Mr. and Miss IECEP CAR 2023. So this is a face-to-face competition tentatively scheduled on October 14, 2023. Please guys, sumali kayo sa Mr. and Miss. Of course, hindi po, the details of this will be posted soon on our page. So if you know people, if you have classmates or friends that are under the ECE program, under the 3 schools, which is UB, UC, or SLU, who wants to join the there. And lastly, we will be have math, but on the subs, kahit ngayon po, some of us, ay alam ko po hindi lang ako, some of us are still confused on what we want to pursue after we graduate, since there are a lot of avenues we can go into as electronics engineers. Partner?
Yes. This webinar series will be conducted every Sunday next month, or kung may changes man, we will announce it on our page. So stay tuned lagi sa page sa mga susunod na ganap.
Ayun. Again, for the attendance and evaluation form, it is posted on the screen, also in the chat box. So if wala na po kayong any more queries, thank you for participating, and see you till our next event.
Thank you po.
Thank you for Sir June.
Thank you. Happy lunch for us here.
Good night, sir.
Bye. Pwede na mag-leave, no?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you po.